Jesus said to the disciples, "You have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, 'You shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment.' But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, 'You fool,' you will be liable to the hell of fire. So when you're offering your gift at the altar, if you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go first to be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then come and offer your gift. Come to terms quickly with your accuser while you are on the way to court with him. Or your accuser may hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Truly, I tell you, you will never get out until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away, for it is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away, for it is better for you to lose one of your members than for your whole body to go into hell. It was also said, 'Whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce.' But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife except on the grounds of unchastity causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, 'You shall not swear falsely, but carry out the vows you made to the Lord.' But I say to you, do not swear at all, either by heaven, or for it is the throne of God, or by earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let your word be yes, yes, or no, no. Anything more than this comes from the evil one." This is the gospel of our Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
You may be seated. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. How many of you saw the movie in 1976 called Network? How many of you saw that movie? Have you seen that movie? Okay. Some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. Okay. Well, in this movie, there's a line spoken by a disgruntled, soaking wet, and angry national news broadcast anchor person named Howard Beale. And he goes in front of the camera and he says, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore." Now, anger is a natural human emotion that Wikipedia, the source for all great knowledge on the internet, of course, describes as related to one's perception of having been offended or wronged and a tendency to undo that wrongdoing by retaliation. Now, we all get angry at one time or another, right? We all do. I do. Some of you have been witnesses to when I get angry. But how about, there are things, we all get angry at different things. Like, for example, somebody cuts you off in traffic, right? You get a little angry. Or that person who cuts you off in traffic gives you the one-finger salute. Or someone honks the horn when you're obeying the speed limit. Or you're stopped at what was a yellow light that was about to turn red. And we all get angry, of course, when harsh or unfair or untrue words are spoken to or about us, or when someone does or says something mean to our children or our grandchildren or our spouse. We get angry, for example, when we have worked on a project and a colleague or a boss takes credit and he gets the accolades and doesn't even mention our contribution to the work. We feel cheated. We feel taken advantage of. We get angry when a spouse betrays our fidelity, or when a friend breaks our confidentiality. We even get angry with God, do we not? When when disease destroys our health, or causes the suffering of a loved one, or strikes down a person in the prime of their life, we can and we are angry at a lot of different things. Well, anger isn't just a modern emotion. It's prominent. It's a prominent emotion within the Bible. For example, Esau gets angry when Jacob swindles him out of his father's blessing. Samson gets angry when his wife betrays his riddle to his enemy, the Philistines. Saul gets angry because people's enthusiasm turns from him to David. Moses gets angry with the people of Israel when they fashion a golden calf and they worship it. And what does he do? In a fit of anger, he breaks the tablets of the Ten Commandments in a judgment upon them. In the New Testament, we hear about that. And the elder brother of the prodigal son gets really angry when the father hosts a party for him, right? Even God gets angry when the people fail to honor and obey God. Jesus got angry and threw out the money changers in the temple. And in our day and age, we would do well to get angry at things like poverty and homelessness and illiteracy and hunger and discrimination and injustice, violence and terrorism. Notice in today's gospel how Jesus began his teaching. He said, "You've heard that it was said to those of ancient times that you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or a sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or a sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say, 'You fool,' you'll be liable to the hell of fire." Now, remember last week that Jesus concluded the preceding passage about the law with these words and said, "For I tell you that unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Now what's happening here is that Jesus is calling Christian disciples, like us, to a higher standard than that held by the common person on the street. And remember that Jesus is not abolishing Old Testament law. He is fulfilling it to the letter and challenging his followers to an ethical behavior that is suited to the new age that's being ushered in by Christ, where the blessings of the Beatitudes will abound. When Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said to those of ancient times, 'You shall not murder," of course he is referring to which commandment? Do you remember? Okay, the 6th commandment. Okay, we'll have to do an adult catechism. All right. Now we've often learned it as "Thou shalt not kill," but literally it means "You shall not murder." Murder is against God's law. And here, Jesus identifies anger as only a step away from murder. Now, few, if any of us, have ever committed murder. How many? No. Yet all of us have expressed and demonstrated vengeful, hateful anger. And in Jesus' teaching, anger is on a par with murder. But how? What is there about anger that relates it to murder? Well, does anybody remember where the first murder occurred in the Bible? Does anybody remember where the first murder occurred? Come on, you gotta know this. There you go, very good. All right. And why does he do this? Right, Cain got angry at Abel because God accepted Abel's sacrifice over Cain's. Anger and jealousy became the motives for murder. Somehow in this lies the connection between murder and anger. And look at it physically and emotionally. How do you react when you get angry, right? Your blood pressure goes up, your heart pounds faster and faster, your nostrils flare, your voice gets louder or possibly higher, your muscles get tense, your fists tighten, your mind blurs, your emotions explode, your judgment falters. You've all felt it, and you all know it. In hateful anger, you are but a step away from murder. And Jesus gives us 3 examples of this. Essentially, each is an increasing level of insult and contempt, and in each case, a level of holy judgment likewise increases. For example, remember the old saying, "Since oath may break my bones, but no names will never harm me," right? Well, that is pure, unadulterated horse hockey. Okay? Words can and words do terrible and sometimes even irreversible emotional and psychological damage. That's what Jesus warns us about. And this is his challenge to exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees. But he doesn't leave the matter there. Jesus also talks about anger management. Now, in psychological counseling sessions, you learn to deal with stress and interpersonal relationships and other issues. And of course, my microphone just fell. There we go. Okay. However, Jesus has his own anger management advice. He says, "Be reconciled to your brother or sister who has offended you, or whom you have offended." Comes back here. And he gives another example. He said, if a person comes to make sacrifice in the temple and remembers that one has offended a brother or sister, then he should go and make amends. He should make restitution and seek reconciliation. In other words, you should try to rebuild a sense of community and repair that peace that has been destroyed. See, how we live has a bearing on how we worship God. And we can't fully worship God if we are holding a grudge against someone else. The 19th century evangelist, D.L. Moody, was a powerful preacher, but he had a temper. Boy, he had a sharp temper. But he learned to control it, usually. One evening, Moody was conducting 2 evangelistic services back to back. And after the first one, as Moody was standing near the door, welcoming the new crowd coming in, a man approached him and delivered a highly offensive insult of some sort or another. Now, Moody never later reported it, but it must have been really contemptible because, in a sudden fit of anger, Moody shoved the man and shoved him right down the stairs. Now, the man wasn't seriously hurt, but Moody's friends now wondered how he could possibly preach the second service. An observer at the time said, "When I saw Mr. Moody give way to his temper, I said to myself, oh, this worship service is done. The large number who have seen the whole thing will hardly be in a condition to be influenced by anything more that Mr. Moody can say tonight." But Moody called the worship to order, and he stood. And with trembling voice, he said, "Friends, before beginning tonight, I want to confess to you that I yielded just now to my temper out there in the hall, and I have done wrong. And just as I was coming in here tonight, I lost my temper with a man, and I want to confess my wrong before you all. And if that man is present here, whom I thrust away from me in anger, I want to ask his forgiveness and God's forgiveness. Let us pray." So instead of a lost cause, the meeting seemed unusually touched that night, with many people deeply and eternally impressed with the gospel of our Lord. As I was working on this message for today, the news on the radio had more examples of more anger and violence and retaliation in our land. And I honestly despise it. I despise what is happening in our land. I get it. I get that somewhere in the reptilian parts of our brain, violence and retaliation has its appeal. I get it, but I hate it. And often after I've listened to and I've heard something that's been seen on mass media, I've let Jesus' words, but I say to you, become drowned out. We hear Jesus' words to love our enemies and pray for people who persecute us in a world where we know in part, but we see through a glass darkly. where we do not know, as we shall be known. We try on our best days to follow the one who reminds us that God's sun shines on the evil and on the good, and the rain falls on the just and the unjust. Where we remember that in Luke's Gospel we hear that Jesus prayed for the Father to forgive even those who crucified him. In his prayer, in the moment, when he could have easily cursed his tormentors, he offers the example of praying for those who were doing him evil. In the translation known as the Cotton Patch Gospel, the translation of today's Gospel reads, quote, "Listen here. If you love only those who love you, then what's your advantage? Don't even scallywags do as much? And if you speak to no one but your friends, how are you any different? Don't the non-Christians do as much? Now you all must be mature as your spiritual Father is mature." You know, when I hear and I read Jesus' words to love our enemies, pray for those who persecute you, I know that I need amazing grace. And I know that that grace has changed how I respond to brothers and sisters, to strangers and enemies.